This is A-Game, fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. I have a very sobering video to show you. It's short and it's disgusting, but even though there might be one F-bomb in it, I encourage, if you have girls who are watching who are of childbearing age, who might be sexually active, and other women, to really watch this. Watch what they say. These are the people that's just walking around that we think are normal. We think they're normal people. But this is where woke culture has got us today. I'm wearing all black, probably because I'm mourning. I'm mourning the death of womanhood. This is the death of womanhood. This is what pro-choice really looks like. Y'all need the reality of this stuff. They come on and they talk about, oh, everybody needs to be able to have an opportunity to have a legal and safe deletion of life. But this is what they really talk about. Remember when I talked about months ago a bill that was proposed for after birth terminations, which would be infanticide. Let's just call a thing a thing. Let me go ahead and share this video though. I'm only gonna run it once because it's disgusting, but I need everybody to listen very carefully, okay? And when I say disgusting, I don't mean like it's visually disgusting. It's what you hear. It's what's being said, okay? Here we go.
If they have their baby, they can neglect them for 7 days, and if the baby dies, then they can't be held criminally liable. What do you think?
Of course, it's California.
I think whatever helps women and helps them achieve their dreams, and however that needs to happen is definitely acts to help. That is helping all of us.
So I prefer that most women make their decisions at 8 weeks.
All kind of
but I'm also in support of 10 months out of the womb.
So you think babies should?
He said 10 months out of the womb. That's a 10-month-old baby. We'll continue.
Be aborted 10 months after they're born?
If the mother wants to, yes.
I think fuck them kids. So if you want to get a late term abortion, that's up to you.
Jill, for you too.
I've had an abortion too, and it was my choice, and I'm happy I had that choice. I've had an abortion myself.
Would you guys get an abortion again?
Yes, 100 times. I'd do it multiple times.
Yo,
until I feel that I'm ready as a parent. That's a
you should never be a parent.
Particularly if they have their.
Okay. And I promised that I would not run it twice, so I'm not going to. Let me stop sharing. Tell me that wasn't disgusting. Somebody wake me up from the nightmare. Somebody, anybody can wake me up from the nightmare. Just come pinch me, smack me, whatever you got to do to get me out of this hole. Because this is the hole that women's empowerment and feminism and and all of this good old gynocracy has led us to this point where we got people that you would not think had the minds of murderers. And I don't usually use that. I have never been super strict one way or the other when it came to fetal terminations. And the reason why is because Islam has a very set thing for that. It is not permissible to terminate pregnancies unless under very strict circumstances. Those circumstances are in the case of grapes and you get pregnant, it's actually recommended that you don't birth that child because of the circumstances under which the child was conceived. Okay. And the other thing is severe medical issues. Number one, if birthing the child has a high likelihood of killing the mother, or going through the pregnancy has a high likelihood of killing the mother. The only other exception is if we find that the child itself has such a debilitating medical condition that it's gonna be born with that completely changes this child's quality of life and degrades it almost to the point where they don't have a life. Then the mother has a choice on whether or not to bring a child into the world under that strife and stress. She can, if she chooses to. But in any of those situations, it must be done in the first trimester. Okay, it must be done. And the reason why is because we believe that in the 4th month, the soul, the ruh, is placed into the child. It's too late. It's a person now, has a soul. And that's the 2nd trimester. Okay. So that was just a quick rundown. That's why I've never been super one way or another, because I already know what Islam says about that. There are only a couple of exceptions. Otherwise, it's not permissible, because you shouldn't be getting pregnant outside of a situation that you would want a child anyway, which is marriage. Okay. But this is disgusting that under the guise of women's rights, people will agree to infanticide. They were still calling it the A word. That's not, after that baby born, that's not no A word. After the 2nd trimester, that's not an A word. You're just killing it. You're just killing a baby at that point. You're killing a baby at that point. After a child is born, a woman and some men, at least one, believed that it was perfectly okay to actually delete a living baby. Anything that helps a woman be without accountability is what your average people are walking around now believe. Your average women now think that. And they're monsters because it's cloaked in women's rights. And we aren't supposed to see the monster for what it is. We're not supposed to see the monstrous thought for what that is. Has nothing to do with women's rights. Since when does a woman's right involve the termination of a life of a baby? I'm talking about one that's been born. Since when is that her right? Since when do we do that? Since when do we become child murderers? In a very literal sense. For a woman's convenience. And then, but if a man who don't want to pay child support or just simply vacates the child's life, he's a monster. But we got people that's walking around. These people are your baristas at Starbucks. These people are, you know what I'm saying, the teachers at assistants at the school. These people are, okay, these people are quote unquote living normal lives, running around here actually thinking that somebody could take something and an 8-month or 7-month or 3-month or 10-month-old baby and you just off it. Because it's women's rights. He ain't in your body now. So it ain't your body, your right now. And putting a time limit on it don't help me. Well, after 10 months, what is it? Less of a child on the 9th month, 30th day, 29th day? What is not? It wasn't breathing before that? What are we really doing right now? What are we doing in this country right now? This is where it's gone. This is where it's gone, to a place that nobody thought. Surely we thought that the human being would not get to a point to say, a 7-month-old baby, because I don't want it, let's delete it. Is this why women don't really get a lot of backlash or a lot of prison sentencing or stiff prison sentencing for offing their children, no matter what age their kids are? Is this why we always be like, oh, well, you know, it must be something going on with her mental health, you know, because she wants to off her kids, no matter how old they are. They could be 10 months or 10 years. Do stuff like chop their bodies up and carry them around in the trunk of a car for 3 months, stinking until they get pulled over by police, and then the police have to pop the trunk and see a bag of maggots because it's eating the babies that they terminated. And that was a real story. I did a video on it. I had to actually stop doing videos on it because it was so take such a toll heavily. Saw a couple of weeks ago a Facebook video of a woman at a bus stop trying to throw her teenage child into oncoming traffic. And it was two black men that had to come save the child and actually restrain the woman from taking the child from them to throw it into traffic so it can be deleted. And all of the comments had to say, nobody called that woman a monster. All the comments were saying, oh, well, there's got to be something going on with her. A lot of sympathy. Here's the other thing that they slickly do. Let me bring your attention to something. When we talk about bioculture, the quote unquote dominant society does not call it biology, culture, environment. They actually call it moral, ethics, and law. Moral, biology, ethics is supposed to be culture, and law is environment. Okay. The slick way that they got these people even answering that question without blinking twice to talk about infanticide and actually imagine a small baby that you actually delete without any emotion tied to that is because they couch the question under ethics and not morality. The question is couched under ethics. It's a cultural question. My body, my right, my body, my choice. I need, and it's couched in the legal. There's a bill, there's a policy being proposed as to whether or not this can be legal. So it was couched in ethics and law, culture and environment, to make you take the morality out of it, the biological sense. Who would biologically think that's not a serial killer, that's not a psycho? It's a moral question. It's not an ethical question or a legal question. It's a moral one. It's a biological question because that actually should be against our biological imperatives to delete future iterations of the human race. And so they treated it a moral question as if this was only a question of ethics. And as if this was only a question of law. And that's how they get you to take your morality out of it. That's how they get you to take your spirituality out of it, because it's all couched in the lost value system. It's all put there. And what's at the bottom of here? What's at the bottom of the American nightmare? Spiritual. And what does it say? No truth. No truth. That would be your morality, your spiritual value. So they remove us from our spiritual values so we don't ask moral questions. We only ask ethical questions. We only ask legal questions. And the ethics can change due to your culture because ethics is culture. Listen and learn. While we're listening, I want us to go into the description box before we sign off. There is a petition, and we are over 2,500 signatures already. A petition against Black Lives Matter organization about the misappropriation of their funds. Please sound off in the comment section and let me know what you think about this horrific topic. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.